I'm here watching and reacting to the new live stream of an awesome new feature that's apparently coming out from OpenAI. Let's tune in.
Everybody, today we have one of the most fun, cool things we have ever launched.
Sam is always so awkward.
People have been waiting for this for a long time. We know we've made you wait, but we think it's really worth it, and we think you're going to love it. We are launching native images in ChatGPT. Image generation has been around for a while. In fact, one of the first things that we ever were known for was the original DALL-E. But image generation has been largely a novelty. You've been able to make some cool art with it, and people.
So the read there is we suck at it. Midjourney did great. Ideogram did great. OpenAI DALL-E, as Sam is hinting at here, is really bad compared to the others. I think what we're seeing here is they're probably going to update that.
Have done amazing things, but it has not had the power to be really useful in a wide variety of ways. The thing that we're going to launch today is native image generation in our 4.0 model, and it's such a huge step forward that the best way to explain it to you is just to show it, which we'll do very soon. But this is really something that we have been excited about bringing to the world for a long time. We think that if we can offer image generation like this, creatives, educators, small business owners, students, way more will be able to use this and do all kinds of new things with AI that they couldn't before. And really the best thing to do is just to show it to you. So I'd like to introduce Gabe, who is the lead researcher and really the primary driver of this product, and we will...
I just want to say I love everything about the vibe here. I like that they're all looking in different directions. There's no eye contact. There's no smiling. And what is this chair doing? Are they waiting for Elijah to join this web stream?
I'll hand it over.
Hey, so I'm Gabe, lead researcher.
Hey, I'm Praful. I'm the head of multimodal research.
So, okay, I'm going to jump right in with a demo. And the reason I'm starting off with a demo is because I'm also using these demos as my speaker notes. So it's a bit handy. Now, 2 years ago, when we first started this project, we were interested in sort of like maybe a scientific question about what native support for image generation would look like in a model as powerful as GPT-4. We didn't know the answer to that question. But a year later, when the model was done training, we saw really exciting signs of life. So, we featured this in a full blog post, if some of you will remember. And, we saw that the model could render paragraphs of text, for example. It could combine images in really very interesting and novel ways. And I think we spent a lot of time just playing with this model, and I felt that sense of like joy and excitement. I haven't felt for a very long time, maybe even since GPT-2.
I haven't either. This was one of those really wow moments.
It was a wow moment, but that model was still a bit rough around the edges. So it's sometimes made typos. It was kind of unreliable, I would say, and.
So I think they're hinting at some changes we've seen with image generation in general, which was like, in the early days, it was good enough to just create a cat doing something really silly, and it was oversaturated, and you post it on Facebook or whatever. The newer models from Ideogram and others have gotten really good at text generation and also really good at prompt understanding. So you can give a concept and end up with a usable image. You can create thumbnails with them that have good text in it. So I think that's what they're getting at here. It is taking them way too long to do the image generation, and I think they're just kind of killing time at the moment, waiting for it to happen. But it looks like we're going to see something in a second.
So over the last year, I've been refining this model to make it more accessible and more user-friendly to the average person. And so, the image is generating, as you can see. And let me see. So it seems to have gotten all the text. I don't see any typos, which is good. Okay. Yeah.
It's still amazing to me to see image generation with perfect text. It shouldn't be that impressive, but somehow we've been waiting for this for so long. And
Yeah. So that's the point I was making before. That text has been kind of the final frontier of image generation. I think they're skipping over the fact that I don't know whether their actual images are as good as something coming out of Midjourney or Ideogram. The text generation does look pretty impressive. But again, this is like a blurry background image here. I'm assuming we're going to see more.
Every time it happens, it's like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
and the number of things that like this image had to get right in the instructions, like the what you want focused on, not like that it should be a point of view image and where we are, and then sort of to get having the text like that's just.
I'm suspicious though, seeing the manga thing over there. I'm thinking they're going to go next into like cartoons and illustrations, which is maybe a bit of a cop out.
This is still amazing to me.
Yeah, and point of view images are actually really hard to do. And this kind of looks like what we see right now.
It looks like you had just taken it, yeah.
All right.
Well, I am going to begin my demo by taking a selfie of all of us. So, give me a nice expression. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT to make it into an anime frame.
Okay, cool. Different
So in
direction.
this case, it's not just getting the context of my text prompt, but it's also getting this image, and it can use both of these to produce a really nice image for us. And this is possible because we trained 4.0 as an Omni model. So, it's a model of not just language, but images, audio, all modalities in and out. It understands them, it can generate them, and it can seamlessly work across these things. And we have spent a lot of effort to make useful products like first advanced voice mode, where audio just works seamlessly, and now this, where images just.
So why didn't they release it before? It looks like it's incredibly computationally intensive. So they're talking about how this is native to the 4.5 model, which means that it's a multimodal model. It can create text. It can create all kinds of other stuff. But they struggled to even get it to create text in the beginning because it was so computationally expensive. And they literally said they ran out of GPUs to run the thing. So I'm guessing that creating images with this multimodal model is even more difficult. And you can see how long it's taking. That's a hint that it's consuming a ton of resources. So I bet they just didn't have enough GPUs to roll this out initially, and now they're going to do that. The implication here is they can probably do video too. I don't think they're going to talk about that here, but that's probably even more intensive. I'm probably not going to see that for a bit, but that would be the next step if this is image generation using a true multimodal model instead of what they did before, which was an LLM for the text and then a separate DALL-E image gen model.
Just work seamlessly across the board.
It is so cool that we're finally getting towards this truly integrated multimodal model that just does everything.
Yeah, Sam said what I said.
Yeah, and in this case, it gives the user a lot more control because, I might want a specific style, or I might want to use a specific previous image I have, or, a design palette or something. And they can provide all of this context to ChatGPT. It can just use all of this and, produce the thing you want. It becomes more controllable. Oh, okay.
All right.
We can, you're already seeing.
All right, I'm going to skip over them bantering while waiting for the image to generate.
And my hand sign too.
Yeah.
Nice. What should we do next with this?
Okay,
Can we
cool.
make a
So
meme
that's
out of
the
it?
anime image. Yeah, I think the image transformation is genuinely new and interesting. I mean, other models can do that. They can use an image to remix or as a visual concept, but this genuinely seems to take the source image and create something new from it in a new visual style. Again, we're still not seeing its ability to generate photorealistic images though. Like, this is still a bit of a cop out. It's cool. It's super cool. Don't get me wrong that they can do image transformation, but it's still making an anime image. I'd like to see it create something visually realistic. And maybe they'll get to that. We'll see.
Ooh, make it into
Since that's on game speaker notes.
What do you wanna?
One of the common memes inside of OpenAI is feel the AGI. I have no idea what AI will think about that, but let's try it.
I do feel the AGI.
We'll
This
get
is
maximum
interesting,
utility
but not
out of this
super
model.
interesting, so let's skip ahead.
We're excited to see what people will do with it.
Yeah, me too.
Let's look at the meme we got.
That's great.
Okay. I mean, you could just prompt it to do
Okay,
that.
so
It's honestly
thank you
not-
guys very much, and we're going to welcome a few other research and product people to show some more stuff, unless
Hold
you
on, I
you have
got a
anything
glimpse.
else.
It looks
No,
like we're going
thanks,
to put
Sam.
someone
Yeah,
in
thank
the
you.
last chair. Bye.
Okay, so in addition to building, all of the great research that went into this, we really wanted to work hard to make it a
You can see
great
they were
product
first.
experience as well. And so, if my colleagues want to introduce themselves, maybe starting with Alan, we'll then show you a few more things.
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm a research scientist at OpenAI.
Hi, my name is Ben Chao. I'm an engineer on ChatGPT.
Hi, my name is Lu. I'm a research scientist at OpenAI.
So as our models get more capable, their knowledge of the world is deepening. But so far, they've really only
Whoever put the plant behind Sam is
been able to express themselves in either text or code. And I think what's really exciting about this release is that now these models can actually visualize what they know and externalize it in a visual way. So the prompt that I'm going to try is make a colorful page of manga describing the theory of relativity, and just for
I
fun,
don't
we'll ask
really
it to
care
add some
about
humor.
more
How well do you find
illustrations.
the model understands like visual humor versus just funny text?
I think that given that this prompt is like so
Skills, but still enjoys expressing my creativity. To show you what I meant, I've prepared something special. Let's kick it off. So I was inspired by this trading card in my hand that I got from our Sora launch. And I thought it would be really cool if we can design a new one in the same style for full image generation.
So they're still really leaning into the text here. Like a trading card is a cool way to illustrate that you can create something that has a lot of text built into it, right? That seems to be the biggest thing that's being introduced here. Image transformations, cool, but also the ability to add text in. So let's just skip ahead. There, yeah, we got a
yes, and
a dog in it, of course.
it got all the stats correct. That's amazing. Thank you for letting me share this little creative moment with you. And now I'm excited to pass it on to Lou to show you more innovative ways of using our product.
Yeah, sure. I'm very happy to share that with everyone today. So we've seen the generation from Alan and Mengqiao. So today I'm going to do something very special here. So I'm going to make a memorial coin based on the generations from these two, and also another two pictures that is in our background. So I'm going to first copy the pictures from Alan, and also the pictures from Mengqiao. And the rest of the two are the background we show here in the demo. So I would like to also use a special hex code here. So as you can see, this special hex code is a spring color because for all.
So what they're going for here is specificity, right? We got specific text well integrated. We got instructions, creating what we saw there with the comic, the manga kind of comic. And now they're going to show how you can basically drop in an actual hex code, which is how you would identify a color very specifically, and it's going to build that into the image, I'm sure.
And this both launched in spring. So I would like it to be a unique color for us. And also I would like to include the text for image gen and today's date on this memorial coin. So we can make a souvenir for us for today. So you can see this model is trained in non-autoregressive way. So it is able to understand both text and multiple images in context and seamlessly render it in a very harmonious way in a coin. So it's able to, can you imagine how this coin will look like based on this?
Not easily from that, but I'm excited to see.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm thinking of also. So we are seeing here, so we have the Furrow image gen, and we have the bear that is
like a juggler to come in
there,
or something to kill the time while they wait for these things to generate.
And also Alan's manga, and I was still meeting Sungjin.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
so
this
cool.
is why they have all the weird set decoration. Usually they just like to have like a boring kind of background, like a studio. I was wondering why the heck do they have all this stuff in the background here? We've got this like weird little very specific I don't even know what it is, some kind of little stereo, etc. We've got the bear, and it looks like they are using that as the background in this image in order to show that, hey, it can pick up the stuff, it can put it in here, like it creates the memorial coin. That's a neat concept. Again, it hasn't shown me what I wanted to see, which is realistic photos. This is all sort of fun, but I would need to see text and specificity applied to something that actually looks photorealistic, because that's really where DALL-E always fails and continues to fail versus, Ideogram and Midjourney and even like Flux at this point can create stuff that are very, very realistic. This is all neat, and the image transformation and text handling is awesome, but we haven't seen it applied to a photorealistic example.
Cool, that's very cool.
I want one of those.
Yes, I agree. So
And you can
now
probably have it, Sam. You're so rich.
I'm going to make it a transparency background because we really wanted this coin to be printed out so we can have this coin physically for us. So as you can see, the model not only can understand context in one turn, it is also understanding the context across multiple turns in context. So from today, we can just chat to ChatGPT in a more visual way. And this is just a very simple example. Make a transparency background. You can also talk to the model, for example, imagine how will this coin look like on the back set? Or we can make a unique color for Alan and Mengqiao and me to have a different unique color for each one.
And other than making the background transparent, how good will it be at keeping the actual coin itself consistent between the two?
Yeah, it's very good at keeping the editing consistent. So that is also to see you can use ChatGPT from today to do image editing and image refinement.
So that's neat. So basically, before there was a lot of problems where if you tried to ask for something new, you got something that was a little bit like you'd had before, but usually had a lot of differences. So it was kind of hard to preserve an image between generations, not just in DALL-E, but in others. Midjourney put in character references that does a decent job of preserving people or characters, but it never did a great job of just duplicating the image. So I do think that that's a neat capability here.
In ChatGPT and using a very chatty language. Cool. Here, so we see the coin here, and it's in transparent background now, and it's keeping the consistency between the previous generation.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Well, we're so excited to get this out to the world. It goes live today in ChatGPT and Sora. It will come to the API soon.
Cool. So they're telling us when it's going to come out. It seems like they are genuinely ready to release it, which is awesome because sometimes they announce something and then it takes a long time to roll out. I would not be shocked if there's some crashes and stability issues that come out with this. Again, it looked super computationally intensive to run this. I bet people are going to be excited about it, and you're going to have a ton of people using it. So I wonder if they're, if you try to sign into ChatGPT and it crashes later today, it's probably why. And you should probably subscribe to Pro if you really want access to this in the short term.
We really think this is a huge step forward in what AI models are capable of doing visually, and we cannot wait to see what you all will create. Thank you very much, and again, congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so big takeaways here. Text generation, super impressive. Image manipulation, super impressive to be able to transform an image. We have not seen an example of a photorealistic image, which worries me because, again, that was really DALL-E's biggest weakness versus like Midjourney, Diagram, and Flux. So I don't know if that was deliberate that they didn't do that. Like I want to see, travel poster, like where it's a realistic looking location, a realistic looking human. This is all like manga and stuff. It's super neat. It's great that they're able to do that. But if it can't do realistic images, then it's not going to be really that usable. You could use it for like illustration and text and that kind of stuff, or creating a comic book. The image consistency and the ability to edit images is really neat. Again, I'd want to see that applied to a real image, not one that's like a coin. The implication of the fact that this is native, it's being done within a model that was trained on text and images and presumably video, is really cool too. It's not a split model, again, LLM for text and then something else to handle the images and video. It's all actually, at least from what they're saying, working within the same model. So that means that they could potentially roll this out for video transformations in the future. It's probably going to be a lot better at prompt understanding, which again, we saw they could give it a very simple prompt, like make it transparent, and it would know what to do with that. That does seem like a big leap forward. That's something that a Diagram and Midjourney can't really do. Like they're not the big LLM company. Now you have Magic Prompt in a Diagram, for example, that takes a prompt and does expansion. That's probably LLM powered, but it's not the level of power that you've seen here, and it's still probably a text LLM handing something off to images. So the fact that this is a fully multimodal native model that's generating these images is a big leap forward, and they probably didn't emphasize that enough. It's a little pedantic, it's a little nerdy, but it's honestly one of the most interesting things in this announcement. The near-term release, super exciting. Again, it looks really computationally expensive just based on how slow it is. If they could have done anything in the world to speed it up so we didn't have to wait and watch them banter, they would have. So the fact that they didn't tells me this is really slow, really intensive. So I would be very surprised if we didn't see some stability issues as this rolls out. I'm super excited. I want to see it create a real image, not just an illustration. If you found this helpful or interesting, please do subscribe to my channel, like the video.